Welcome to Kisii County, a region in Kenya renowned for its agricultural bounty. Here, amidst the fertile banana plantations, sugarcane fields, and rich avocado orchards, a surprising resident has found a home: the bat. These nocturnal mammals have long thrived in this environment, drawn by the abundance of fruits such as guavas, pawpaws, and avocados, as well as the favorable climate. But there is more to these creatures than meets the eye.
Bats, the only mammals capable of true flight, have developed unique adaptations to thrive in their environment. In Kisii, two types of bats dominate the skies: fruit bats, or megabats, and insect-eating bats, or microbats. While microbats rely on echolocation to navigate and hunt small insects, the fruit bats prefer the abundant fruit of this fertile land.
The fruit bats of Kisii, known scientifically as Pteropodidae, are particularly fond of guavas, a fruit that grows in abundance in the region. These bats, often called flying foxes due to their fox-like faces, are characterized by their large wingspan, sharp eyesight, and excellent sense of smell. Unlike their insect-eating cousins, fruit bats do not use echolocation but rely on their keen senses to locate food. They feast primarily on guavas, pawpaws, avocados, and occasionally bananas. They have a remarkable ability to travel long distances in search of ripe fruit. This sometimes brings them into conflict with farmers, as they can devastate fruit trees when foraging. Before settling near the Kisii Sports Club, these bats lived along the busy Daraja Moja Daraja Mbili Road, a bustling area not far from the Kisii County Assembly. For years, they roosted in the trees that lined the road, quietly observing the steady flow of people and vehicles passing below. But something caused them to relocate. It is believed that the growing noise and increased human activity along the road disturbed their peace, forcing them to seek a new home. They briefly relocated to the People's Park, but even there, the expanding urbanization and frequent visitors disrupted their routines. Finally, they found a sanctuary in the lush tree branches at the Kisii Sports Club, a place not far from the Kisii State House, where they now reside. By day, these bats hang silently from the trees, clinging to branches with their small clawed feet. Their large wings wrap around their bodies, creating a protective cocoon as they sleep. While the hustle and bustle of Kisii town continues around them, they remain motionless, saving energy for their nocturnal activities. However, the peace can easily be broken. The bats are known to be extremely sensitive to disruptions. Any loud noise, excessive smoke, or movement that disturbs the environment will cause them to stir uneasily. They have sharp senses and are quick to react when their environment becomes unsettled.
In the heart of Kisii town, near the Kisii Sports Club, an unexpected colony has made its home. For over 5 years now, fruit bats have occupied the large, leafy trees in this area, coexisting with the busy town life around them. Their dark, winged forms hang quietly during the day, but at dusk they awaken, filling the sky with their familiar flutter and high-pitched screeches.
Their sharp teeth are perfectly adapted to crush soft fruits, extracting the juice and spitting out the seeds and pulp. After feeding, they return to their roosts, which are often found in large trees or caves near water sources. Reproduction in fruit bats is a slow process. A female bat typically gives birth to only one pup per year. The mother carries her young during the early stages of its life, nursing and protecting it until it can fly on its own. Training the young involves teaching them how to navigate their environment, find food, and communicate with other bats. This period of learning can last several months, during which the mother is highly protective of her pup. Fruit bats have a complex social structure, living in colonies that can range from a few dozen to thousands of individuals. Within these colonies, communication is vital. They use a variety of sounds to coordinate movement and alert others to food sources. Bats are incredibly vocal, and their screeches can often be heard at dusk as they prepare to leave their roosts.
At dusk, these bats leave their roosts, venturing out into the surrounding area to forage. They fly through the quiet streets, landing on fruit trees in nearby farms and gardens. Guavas, in particular, are a favorite. The sweet smell of ripe fruit attracts them, and with their keen eyesight and sharp senses, they quickly locate their next meal.
Bats possess extraordinary strengths. Their wings are highly flexible, allowing for agile flight. Their sense of smell is so advanced that they can detect ripening fruit from a distance. Moreover, they are essential pollinators and seed dispersers, contributing significantly to the ecosystem by spreading seeds from the fruit they consume. While fruit bats often feed close to their roosts, they are known to travel several kilometers each night in search of food. Their wide wings allow them to glide effortlessly over long distances, conserving energy as they hunt for ripe fruit. The abundant fruit in Kisii County ensures that they rarely need to migrate far, but in drier seasons, they may move to other regions in search of sustenance. One of the most fascinating aspects of bat behavior is their ability to identify new roosting areas. Fruit bats have strong homing instincts but will move if food becomes scarce or if they feel threatened. They rely on memory and environmental cues, such as water sources and forest cover, to find suitable habitats. However, bats face many predators, including birds of prey, snakes, and even humans. The African belief systems often regard bats with suspicion. In some cultures, they are seen as omens of bad luck, or even as manifestations of evil spirits. The Abagusi people have mixed views on bats. While some see them as beneficial due to their role in controlling insect populations, others associate them with witchcraft or dark forces. The relationship between bats and humans has always been a delicate one. In Kisii County, where agriculture is vital to the community's livelihood, bats are both admired for their ecological contributions and feared for their association with negative cultural beliefs. However, with growing awareness of the role bats play in maintaining healthy ecosystems, there is a shift in attitudes. Conservationists are working to educate communities on the importance of protecting these animals, especially as deforestation and habitat destruction threaten their populations. Their feeding behavior is strategic. After locating a fruit tree, bats will gorge themselves on the ripest fruits, ingesting large amounts of juice and pulp. They often feed in multiple locations, traveling between trees to maximize their intake. Afterward, they return to their roost to rest, digest, and prepare for the next night's journey. During the day, fruit bats remain relatively inactive, hanging upside down in large groups. This position helps them conserve energy and stay safe from predators. At dusk, they begin their nightly routine, setting out to forage for food. They are most active just after sunset and before dawn, using their keen eyesight and sense of smell to locate their meals. Bats are vital to the health of Kisi's ecosystem. By pollinating plants and dispersing seeds, they contribute to the growth of new forests and maintain the balance of nature. As human development expands into natural habitats, it is crucial to find ways to coexist with these important creatures. For now, the bats of Kisi Sports Club continue their nocturnal journeys, quietly shaping the landscape through their feeding habits and seed dispersal. As long as they are undisturbed, they will remain an enduring part of Kisi's natural beauty, creatures of the night, thriving in a delicate balance with the busy world around them. Abagusi community view on bats' cultural significance. Ultimately, bats are not well regarded in the Abagusi community. The fear and suspicion surrounding them are deeply ingrained, stemming from their association with dark forces. These beliefs highlight the enduring impact of traditional views and the challenges of integrating more scientific perspectives into the community's understanding of these creatures. The Abagusi community belief on bats' flight and feeding patterns. Bats are known to fly long distances at night in search of food, often far from their roosts. The community acknowledges that they feed primarily on fruits, but they emphasize the negative perception, reiterating that bats serve no positive purpose to the community other than their supposed benefit to witches and traditional physicians. Abagusi understanding of bats' reproduction and habitat. Bats are said to reproduce similarly to dogs, typically giving birth in caves to 2 or 4 offspring, which they carry beneath their wings. The community's understanding of bats' breeding habits reflects an awareness of their natural behaviors, even though bats remain shrouded in mystery and fear. Abagusi community view on bat sight and myths. While bats are known for their nocturnal activities, the Abagusi people believe that these animals have exceptionally sharp vision during the night. A local myth suggests that if someone walks at night, bats might attack them by chopping off their ears or otherwise disturbing them. This belief has been passed down through generations, although the community now recognizes it as more of a folklore than a reality. Abagusi community view on cultural taboos and associations of bats. Within the Abagusi culture, bats carry a deep association with witchcraft. The community views them as creatures of darkness, linked to witches and traditional healers. This strong cultural stigma has led to the widespread avoidance of bats. When asked why people do not eat them, despite their fruit-based diet, guavas, passion fruits, and other fruits, the response was clear. Bats are considered unfit for consumption, and no one would dare touch them. Interestingly, bats do not feed on staple crops like maize, beans, or grains, which sets them apart from other wildlife. Abagusi community view on appearance and behavior of bats. One of the most striking beliefs is that bats closely resemble dogs. With teeth similar to those of canines, they are said to have once been like dogs but adapted to a nocturnal life. These creatures are rarely seen during the day and have a peculiar behavior of always facing downwards, as it is believed that a bat will die if it ever looks up. As we conclude our journey into the world of bats in Kisii County, we are left with a complex and fascinating portrait of these enigmatic creatures. Bats, known scientifically for their crucial role in the ecosystem as pollinators and pest controllers, are viewed through a vastly different lens in the context of the Abagusi community. For centuries, these nocturnal animals have been enveloped in myth, superstition, and fear, largely because of their unique characteristics and behaviors. cultural stigma, and fear. To the Abaguzi people, bats represent much more than just wildlife. They are creatures of the night associated with dark forces and witchcraft, deeply ingrained in local beliefs and traditions. This cultural perception is not uncommon across many societies where bats are often linked to the supernatural, and in Kisi, these associations have persisted for generations. The belief that bats resemble dogs, with similar teeth and reproductive habits, paints an image of bats as strange, even unnatural animals. This, combined with the myth that bats can harm humans by cutting off ears, has heightened the fear and suspicion surrounding them. The cultural taboo against touching or eating bats despite their fruit-based diet reinforces the perception that they are creatures of ill omen, useful only to witches and traditional healers. The science behind the fear. From a scientific perspective, these beliefs offer insight into how cultural narratives form around animals that exhibit behaviors humans struggle to understand. Bats' nocturnal habits, their unusual ability to fly with a complex echolocation system, and their association with darkness have long fueled the community's view that they are dangerous and mysterious. While these animals are harmless to humans, such cultural myths have contributed to their demonization. Despite their negative perception, bats play a significant ecological role even within Kisi County. They are key pollinators and help control insect populations, providing a natural balance within their environment. Their preference for fruit, including guavas and passion fruits, highlights their importance in seed dispersal and maintaining the health of forest ecosystems. Sadly, these scientific benefits are often overshadowed by the deeply rooted superstitions held by the community. Bridging tradition and knowledge. Our exploration of bats in Kisi County reveals the ongoing tension between traditional beliefs and modern scientific understanding. For many in the Abagusi community, bats remain symbols of darkness, feared and misunderstood. However, this documentary aims to shed light on the important role bats play in nature, while also respecting the cultural views that have shaped how these animals are seen locally. Through education and awareness, there is an opportunity to bridge this gap, to preserve the cultural heritage of the Abagusi people while promoting a more balanced understanding of bats. Rather than being seen as harbingers of evil, bats can be appreciated for their ecological contributions, transforming fear into respect. The lifespan of bats varies significantly depending on the species. While smaller mammals generally have shorter lifespans, bats are an exception and are known to live much longer than animals of similar size. Here's a general overview of bat lifespans. Average lifespan. Most bats live between 10 to 20 years in the wild. However, certain species can live much longer under favorable conditions. A new perspective on an old creature. In conclusion, the bats of Kisii County serve as a reminder of how deeply intertwined nature and culture can be. While the Abagusii community's views of bats are shaped by centuries of myth and belief, there is room for a new perspective, one that embraces both tradition and science. By respecting these creatures for what they truly are, essential members of the ecosystem, future generations may come to view bats not as dark forces to be feared, but as vital contributors to the balance of the natural world. As we leave behind the caves and forests where bats make their homes, we carry with us not only the folklore of the Abagusii people, but also a deeper understanding of the role bats play in the world. This is not just a story of fear, but of potential, an opportunity to reconcile the myths of the past with the knowledge of the present, and to foster a future where bats are seen not as creatures of mystery, but as creatures of life.